Hi chess lovers, welcome to Win Chess. This video explains everything about how to read or write down a chess game. The International Chess Federation, or in short FIDE, insists that every game played should be recorded when playing professional chess. Though there are a lot of systems for this purpose, the one we are going to see here is recognized by the FIDE and it is called Algebraic Notation. Okay, let's start. Before learning to record moves, I hope you may be familiar with files, ranks, diagonals and squares. If you are not, then please check our video on chessboard and pieces by clicking the I button above and come back. Okay, now a short recap about chess pieces. King is denoted by capital K, Queen as capital Q, Rook capital R, Bishop capital B, Knight as capital N, as the capital K is already reserved for the king, and finally the pawn. To the surprise, it is not denoted by any letter in algebraic notation. Okay, everything is now set. Let's start. Dear friends, I have classified the chess moves into 7 types to present a clear picture about chess notation. They are simple moves, captures, check, checkmate, castling, pawn promotion and en passant. The final 3 are called special moves in chess, which we have already discussed in our earlier video, so please check that too if necessary. First up, simple moves. It is nothing but a piece movement from one square to another. Now we have a position. Here our task is to move all the pieces one by one to the d5 square and to record them. Let's start with the queen. The queen is standing on a5 and about to move to d5. How to write it down? Queen a5 d5. Exactly. But a small correction. Since there is only one queen over the board, we can ignore a5 and simply write it down as queen d5, or we say qd5. Write down the moving piece first and follow it up with the arriving square. That's it. Job done. Here we have to remember one thing. Upper case is for pieces and the lower case is for squares. The same is the case for this bishop bd5. Now here goes the king kd5. Now the knight nd5, rook or d5, and finally the pawn. It moves from d4 to d5. Since the pawn is not denoted by any letter as per the algebraic notation, simply write it down as d5. Next, captures. Just a small change in this position. We have a pawn on d5. Again we start with the queen. Queen captures d5. How to record it? Simple. Q cross d5. The cross represents capture. Similarly, the other moves are b cross d5, k cross d5, n cross d5 and r cross d5. Finally, we left with a pawn. Since the pawn can only capture along the diagonal, we can't do it here. But if you are curious enough to know pawn capturing a pawn, we have an example. Here white has 2 options to capture the black's pawn. So simply writing down as d5 won't clear that which pawn has captured so. If the c pawn captures, write down as c cross d5. And for the e pawn, it is e cross d5. Next, we move on to check. In this position, the bishop moves to e3 and checking the king. How to record it? Simple. b-e3 followed by a plus sign. Plus represent check. That's it. Speaking about check, there are 3 types in check. First is simple check, what we have seen so far. The other two are discovered check and double check. Let's see. First, discovered check. Here by moving the knight, we can check the black's king by the rook. Say for example, knight moves to d5 and it is check. How is it recorded? Nothing new to add here. Just write down as n d5 plus and not to mention the rook though it is checking the king. I repeat, not to mention the rook since it is a discovered check. Next we see the double check. In this position, the knight can move to e6 or f6 and give a double check to the black's king. That is, knight and rook both giving check. How to record that? Again, we just write it down as n f6 plus or n e6 plus and ignoring the rook. That's it. Next, we will see how to record checkmate. In this position, black to play and win. Can you find the move? Great. Queen e2 checkmate. Here we can record the checkmate as Queen e2 double plus or hash. Double plus or hash represent checkmate. That's it. Next, castling. In this position, white has the option to castle on both sides. If it goes on the king side, it is recorded as double O or 0, 0 as per your wish. And if on the queen side, it is recorded as triple O or 0, 0, 0. That's it. Next, pawn promotion. I hope you know about pawn promotion. Well, here the pawn moves to e8 and is promoted as queen. How is it recorded? Simple. e8 q. That's it. Similarly, if you want to under promote, you may write it down as e8 r for rook, e8 b for bishop and e8 n for knight. Well, and the final one, the n%. In this position, black plays d5. Now white decides to n%. So, e cross d6 ep. N% is abbreviated as e dot p. That's it. Almost we have learnt everything. But one more is left which is very essential. Sometimes writing down a move may be ambiguous if we have multiple options. Let's see with an example. Here we go. We got a fresh position. If I say rook captures d5 and you may ask which rook? Is there any difference between the rooks? Certainly. Though they are on the same file, the rank differentiates them. So, if this rook is your pick, just write it down as or 7 cross d5. 7 represents the 7th rank from where the rook moved. And if you pick the rook on the 2nd rank to capture the pawn, then or 2 cross d5. On the other hand, just shuffle this position a bit. Now the rooks are on the different files but on the same rank. If the rook on a file captures the pawn, then it is recorded as or a cross d5. So for the other rook, it is written as or g cross d5. Now we move on to a somewhat complex capture. Imagine you have 4 queens and you are about to capture the pawn on d5. Let's pick this queen. How to record it? Q g2 cross d5. G for the file and 2 for the rank. Well done. Okay, now we are going to test ourselves by writing chess notation to a model chess game. I have carefully selected a model game in such a way that everything we learned so far is stuffed in. Now I will show you the game move by move and you should help me to record the moves in the score sheet. This is a model score sheet where you have to record everything about a game like player's name, rating, date, board number, round number, etc. before you play. Let's start. The game begins. Traditionally, the white is the one which moves first. So, as it is, white plays E4. Now black plays E5. Again white N-F-3. Black replayed with N-F-6. It goes like that. D4. E cross D4. E5. N-E4. Q cross D4. D5. E cross D6 EP in person, that is. N cross D6. BG5. NC6. QE3 plus, that is check. BE7. NBD2. Double O, that is castled short. Now white plays triple O, castle long, or E8. KB1. Here the players have mutually agreed for a draw and it is mentioned with an equal sign. If not and the game continued, and if white goes on to win the game, then it is recorded as 1-0. On the other hand, if black wins, then it is recorded as 0-1. Okay, dear chess lovers, a final note. Though it is must to record the moves on the score sheet, it is not mandatory to record the check, checkmate and capturing. A final note. We have provided more information on chess notation in the description below which may be useful for you. This is Win Chess. Thanks for watching. See you again.